BetMGM is an official sports betting partner of the National Hockey League, and the National Hockey League returns tonight. And the Leafs are playing in it. And you know what I'm excited about?
What?
Sloppy hockey. Because there's been a lot of Cancun on Instagram. And
do you think they're going to let Victor Hedman sit on the bench and just stare at people?
He's intimidating, though.
Analyze. Oh, what's going on over there? I'm not going to get on the ice because Sam Halam's my coach and I'm injured. But
He didn't want to play. He didn't want to play.
No, he's injured. Yeah.
But, okay, I want to know from you guys. I don't care who wins. Total goals.
5.
5?
5. And
Not per team?
I'll tell you why. The Lightning are built for this kind of game. After a certain date is when you ramp up for the playoffs. And they're going. This is a ramp up game. This isn't sloppy pond hockey. This isn't, all right, let's just get our feet wet, boys. The Lightning are not coming to screw around.
Okay.
In this game.
I'm shocked.
If it was any other team, I'd be like, 13. It's the Lightning. 5.
Jesse.
3-1.
3-1. Okay, I'm going to say 7 goals total. I don't know why. Just feel like the lucky number 7. Now, download the BetMGM app today and enjoy the NHL like never before. BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. 19 plus to wager, Ontario only. Please play responsibly. And if you have questions or concerns about your gambling or somebody close to you, please contact Connects Ontario at 1-866-531-2600 to speak to an advisor free of charge. BetMGM operates pursuant to an operating agreement with iGaming Ontario.
SDP, the Steve Dangle Podcast, with your hosts, Steve Dangle, Adam Wilde, and Jesse Blake.
Let's go! All right, just right off the top, I'm going to be honest with you. Given the events on the internet yesterday, wasn't exactly jacked this morning when I woke up and was like, cool, we get to talk about it. But I want to start with this, and let's start with the important thing. Today, in Canada and New Zealand, is Pink Shirt Day. It is an annual event against bullying held in Canada and New Zealand, according to Google. Participants wear pink shirts, attend or host informative events to raise awareness about bullying, and particularly in schools. Now, I don't own a pink shirt. Steve had a bit of a morning. We'll talk about that later. Don't tell him. Okay. But Jesse remembered his pink shirt, and since I don't own a pink shirt, I thought I'd bring in my daughter's pink cleats because these are her soccer cleats.
It's adorable.
Thanks to our VP of sales, Christina, who reminded me this morning to wear a pink shirt. So I wore my Lovia's John Boy floorball participant jersey. What an authentically worn jersey.
Game worn.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Steve and I went down there and played in the floorball tournament.
Got to get Upper Deck to authenticate that, cut that up.
Right?
Put that into... They should absolutely make warehouse games like trading cards.
That would be a great sponsorship. Like if they did a partnership there to do Upper Deck cards with John Boy.
Jimmy, get on it. Get on it. I only want a fraction of the sales.
Jesse, the worst thing you could have done is bring up the John Boy tournament, not because it wasn't awesome, but because Steve will talk about it for 45 minutes now.
Oh, well, because we won, right? Like, it was so cool that we won. We won. That was awesome.
I think I heard the story before, but you know. Anyway, listen, I don't think there's any way to characterize what happened online yesterday as anything other than the messiest it's been in a while. I think that's fair. And whatever side of this you fall on, and both sides will look at each other and go, I'm on the right side. It was a mess. And I think to start it off, we should kind of give a sense of what happened. So, the United States wins gold. President calls the dressing room, invites them to the White House on Tuesday for the State of the Union and obviously for a tour, makes the joke about the women's hockey team and how he would be impeached if he didn't invite them as well.
On Kash Patel's phone.
Yeah. And then the women's team politely declines. The men's team goes. They do the tour of the White House, the usual stuff. And then some of them stay for the State of the Union, which was the longest, by the way, State of the Union in history.
Yeah, was it all this sitting down and standing up?
It was almost like a Catholic church, baby. Sit down, stand up, and kneel.
I know they do that for all of them, but that was a lot. That was every 10 or 15 seconds.
We're not talking about the State of the Union and
I'm
how
just
it went.
talking about the standing up and sitting down.
Yeah,
That's
and you know
that's
what?
all.
They all kind of do that. Like
They do, but not like this.
It does. I wasn't.
It looked
like, whoa.
exhausting.
But so in there is obviously where the divide amongst people online happens, and it goes several different ways. But the main crux of what happened is the joke, and I'm gonna, when we talk about a joke, right? Because this has been so hotly debated online. These comedians, you can't say anything. You see, actually, you can. It turns out you can say anything. In his latest special, I know Steve doesn't like him anymore, but I actually really liked his take on it. Ricky Gervais talks about jokes. And his thing is, he's like, when I make a joke, and in this case, this is Ricky's version, not mine, okay? He said, if I make a joke about Anne Frank, people think I'm punching down on the Holocaust. He's like, usually though, and I'm paraphrasing here, he said, usually I bring it back to myself and I'm the subject, but people can't get past the first part of it. And he said, just because you don't find a joke funny doesn't mean you're right. And I think, okay, that's fair. Now, if we were to apply this to the situation in what happened with the American women's team and the American men's team, you have the subject of the joke, people will argue, was Donald Trump. Hey, and he's making the joke, hey, if I don't invite them, because he knows he hadn't invited them yet,
how come?
Then I'm going to be impeached. And so when people they'll argue, hey, listen, this is a joke. He made it about himself. And what I think has been profound and very interesting in just viewing what happened yesterday and in the days leading up to it is the fact that as of right now, there have been no public congratulations from the president, no phone calls to the women's team, no social media posts, nothing. And so whether or not you found the joke funny, and I will tell you that I did not, I understand why the women's team was like, okay, well, you called them and you invited them, and then you kind of said, well, you guys can come too if you want to. I wouldn't want to get in trouble for not inviting you. And you look at the breakdown of the social media that the United States women's team engaged with yesterday. There was a quote, and I'm paraphrasing. It's a Tina Fey quote, but essentially it says, pay attention to what jokes they laugh at. It'll tell you a lot about them, right? And one account posted it.
You can tell how smart people are by what they laugh at.
There you go.
The quote.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Same thing. She said it better.
Yeah.
A good chunk of the American team liked that post. They didn't say anything. They didn't make a public statement, but they liked that post. And so it's fair to assume, without being in their group chats, without having interviewed them, that there's probably some pissed off feelings there. Is that fair, guys? Am I not?
Why not?
So I'm just trying to give you the breakdown of what this happened. And I'm trying to be as straight down the middle as possible for anybody that might have missed it, because I have to understand and acknowledge that just because I'm chronically online and we're aware of what's going on, there's a lot of people that watched the gold medal game on Sunday and put their kids to bed, woke up, fed their kids breakfast, took them to work or took them to school. They went to work. They came back yesterday or the day before, and we're not privy to any of this because they might not even have Twitter. Right?
No, I totally get it.
So I need to kind of flesh this out for anybody that might have missed that, all of that. Now, then the conversation shifts to, should they or shouldn't they accept the invitation? And there were 5 players that didn't, and on the men's team, that is. And where we ran into issues, or where people, I think, run into issues, is they ascribe a meaning to that. Oh, well, they're not going. Well, 3 of them are from Minnesota. And there's been some bad stuff.
4 of them are from Minnesota. 3 of them have the same agent who is also from Minnesota.
Right. I don't know the reasons they didn't go, and neither do you.
Why is Minnesota significant?
Well, because of what happened, and I think we know that.
Oh, the ICE murders.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So I think, and I'm not saying that that's the case, and Gensel said today it wasn't that for him.
No. Yeah.
And I like, whatever. On that, I think we run into a huge problem when you try to take what somebody's actions are and put your own meaning behind it, especially in a scenario like this. Like, we can do that with a hockey play, but like, this is a little bit different.
You will end up disappointed.
So the actions of the White House are different for the men's than they are for the women's. And I think that's the heart of the issue here. And I think a lot of people were upset by quotes by, Jack Hughes, Quinn Hughes, their mother, the various members of the American team saying, listen, we supported them, we partied with them, we're friends with them, like whatever. And I think, if you were to go back to that phone call in the dressing room, a lot of people laughed. One person said, close the northern border, whatever.
Brady Tkachuk.
I don't think that's been confirmed, so I don't think we can say that. And I think a lot of people think it's not.
Brady Tkachuk.
Some people think it is. Some people are.
That's true. We did speak to someone who said it's not.
It's absolutely not Brady Tkachuk.
We'll see.
So I don't know. The reality of it is that in that dressing room, there are going to be a group of hockey players that all have differing opinions on that joke, and they were in the moment and whatever. I will tell you my personal opinion on it is that I found that disappointing. I didn't like the joke. I don't like the actions. I clearly don't like who's running the White House. You guys knew that about me. And I think that they could have done a lot better, and a lot better could be done by just saying, hey, you know what? We were in the moment. We had just won the gold medal. It was like 7 minutes later, and we fucked up, and I'm sorry. Like that's all it would take, but that's not going to happen. And so then it goes to, guys, the conversation about whether or not to go to the White House. And I know that I've dominated the early conversation on this because I really want to get this out there. Sometimes we do wait on stories until the dust sort of settles. I think everybody wants the instant reaction in real time.
And a lot of that is Adam and Jesse going easy Tiger.
Well,
which is good.
And
which is good.
I want to address so Austin Matthews did not stay for the State of the Union. He is on the ice for an optional skate this morning. He's playing tonight. So let's get that out of the way, because there's a lot of consternation about that in Toronto. Jess, I had this conversation with you in the car. Jess and I had to do a quick chore run before the show, and I'm going to tell you about my view on the choice to go to the White House. Okay. Yeah. So I told Jesse this. A lot of people don't really take me too seriously, friends included. I know you guys do. Friends included, when I say how American my childhood was. My mother is a Canadian, has lived here for a long time, but she's the only one of her sisters that moved home. Every one of them is in the States. One of them passed away. One of them is still in Pennsylvania. One of them is still in Washington State. My cousins are American. Her roots are American. She was in the States until she was almost 30 years old. Like, you can't wash that off, right? You are very much raised in that world. And I can tell you, so when I was 10 years old, my mom took me to, she said, you know what? Here's our fun family vacation. Steve, you say you hate the beach. How about a Washington, D.C. summer? And for anybody that's never been to Washington, D.C. in the summer, you think Toronto's humid? Washington, D.C. is literally a swamp. Yeah. And it was built on a swamp. Yeah. Like, it was swampland. So it was hot. And I can remember we went to the White House. We went to Congress. We went to the Senate. We did the National Walk. We did the Jefferson Memorial, the Lincoln Memorial, Martin Luther King, the whole thing. And it was important for my mom to take me there at 10 years old while I'm sweating through my shirt. I was even hot back then. That I got to do that and see that. She said, it's important you know where you come from. It's important you know what your heritage is, as well as being Canadian, because you are both.
Sure.
And we spent an entire friggin' week on like tour buses, and I was agitated, to say the least. But I've been back as an adult and really appreciate it now. And if you've never been to the White House or Congress or the Senate or whatever, it's hard to describe what it's like. It's almost a religious experience. Everything is white marble, clean. It's august. It feels very Greco-Roman and intentionally so, right? It's supposed to be a throwback to the great republics of the past. And you get a sense of the power and the prestige of the United States and its own national myth, right? What people believe about their country, true or not, it's a myth, right? True or not, some of it's true, some of it's made up, some of it's glorification. We all have that. And I remember that trip more than I remember any other trip, because it gave me an insight, not just into the United States, but as I grew up, I think about it now, and it gives me an insight into my mom. She grew up in a school system and in a country that venerated Washington, D.C., that, you know, for all of its messiness and corruption and whatever, the United States changed the world in the 1700s and led the charge to what we have now, which is so many more democracies than we had before, right? Absolutely, no question. And I think when you grow up in that, and this is the Canadian bias coming through, we can't relate. Do you think my mom took 2 seconds to say, we should probably go to Ottawa too? No. Now, my dad ended up taking me. It was a good trip. But our houses of parliament are like, oh, that's a nice 18th century building where people get some stuff done, I guess.
It's kind of a building.
It's a building. It's beautiful. Like, I do like the Gothic sort of architecture. I'm into that.
Sure.
But it's not the same, and it's not meant to be the same. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And like the house where our prime minister is supposed to live, which is 24 Sussex, is so in disrepair that they don't recommend anyone go in it without a mask right now. It needs something like $10 to $15 million in renovations to bring it up to code. It's a national embarrassment, and I can't believe that we actually have successive governments going through Parliament and not fixing it. Like, fix the friggin' house.
Because
at least it's a tourist attraction.
No one wants to be the one to sink whatever,
$10 to $15 million.
$10 to $15 million into it, and then the opposition party goes, see?
Yeah, exactly.
Look at this waste of blah, blah, blah.
So we in Canada cannot relate to the gravity of Washington, D.C., because we don't have that here. And I'm not saying it's the same for every American. I'm not saying it's the same in every state, in every school system. Your experience is your own. But I do understand why the decision was made to go for these players. I can tell you what I would have done, which is I wouldn't have gone. But I also can say that I understand why they did go. I understand why that might be a once in a lifetime opportunity. I mean, God, there's pictures of Sidney Crosby in the White House with Donald Trump when they won the cups in 16 and 17.
I mean, 3 members of the current Canadian Olympic team were there like a month ago.
Yeah.
With the Florida Panthers.
I get it. I get it. It's not going to be my call for them to do, and I'm not going to choose that. If I was a high level athlete, and I know I've got the look of a high level athlete, the body of a high level athlete.
I was going to say.
But I will tell you that when you make that decision, you are not then free from criticism of it. And that is where I go, I understand your call, but I don't think I would do the same thing. Mm-hmm. And in fact, I know I wouldn't. I would not go. And easy for me to say, I don't make millions of dollars. I didn't grow up in the States, and I'm not an American by birth. And so that's my, but I'm allowed to say that. When it becomes what frustrates, I think, a lot of people, besides the women's hockey thing, which is its own thing, women have to continually justify themselves in this sport, in sports in general, not just media, but players. Like we know this. We've had these discussions. We can have them again, but we know. When you go to the White House and you just walk around and you shake hands with the president, like, listen, any other president, I'd be like, yeah, I'm going to go. This guy, I don't like, flat out.
Yep.
When you go and you shake hands and you take a picture, it's one thing. When you put on a Make America Great hat,
yep,
that's a different thing.
Yep.
When you take your gold medal off and place it around the president's neck, that is a different thing. And when you stay for the longest State of the Union ever and stand up and clap for these policies, which we know have harmed people, then that's another thing. So you can't really have it both ways. You can't really say, well, everything's so political, and then go to the political rally, because that's what the State of the Union is.
Yeah.
You can't put on the political regalia, which is what the hat is. You can't. So that is where, for me, the biggest problem lies. I know that American teams are going to go to the White House. I know that. I know
Seahawks are going?
Sure. In fact, actually, the Seahawks are not going, Steve.
Oh.
It is a choice. And you are not free from criticism of that choice. And so when I see a specific American with big followings going, if you can't celebrate this, you can't blah, blah, blah. I'm like, well, hang on a second. you're allowed to not celebrate it. You're allowed to say, I disagree with that. You are.
Can I point out, it is beneath us, everyone listening, everyone involved, that we have to justify this.
I know, but I feel like...
I understand.
Yeah.
I understand what you're doing. It's not 2016. We know what you are. We know what you are.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a decade of this. We know what you are. It's fully mask off. Whether you're being intentionally bad faith, I don't understand what... Yes, you do. You're not a dumbass.
Yeah.
You're not that stupid. I know you're not that stupid.
Yes.
So you know exactly what everyone's problem is. Everything's so political. You're not a dumbass. I know.
Don't play stupid with me.
Don't play stupid with me. I know the hockey player. Oh, I'm just focused on the... It's 2026. That shit doesn't work anymore. Mm-hmm. We know what you are. All of us. You know what you are. Or I don't know why you're trying to tell me you're something other than the thing that you know that you are. Yeah. Enough. It's not 2016.
Yep. And
you've been putting us through this, directly making everyone's lives worse for a decade, and we're a little tired of it, and we're kind of fed up with your shit.
We have to get back to, and I'm not taking away from.
I know.
To get back to this, I think, on this show, if you're a longtime listener, you probably know that for a while there, especially during COVID and that sort of thing, when there were no games going on, there was massive social movements, massive social upheaval. And we were, even in 2015, very much outspokenly against Trump live on this show every single time. And what I realized after that was, hey, and there have been studies on this.
You think we want to talk about this? We are relinquishing our right to have a good day today.
Hold on.
You know what I mean?
Hold on. I get that.
We're not going to have a good day.
But let me say this.
All right, yeah.
Let me complete the point on this one, because I agree with you. But the reason we have taken a step back from attacking this subject specifically is because there was a re-election, and he was reelected, and we are Canadians. And there are psychological studies that have been done that have proven that tweeting and yelling at people and getting in their shit does not change their mind. In fact, it makes it worse. So we made the conscious decision here to live the example that we want to set. Meaning that with this company, as best we can, in our personal lives, as best we can, we have a certain set of beliefs. Jesse and Steve and I basically share very similar belief patterns, and we are going to live it. And just like, when there's people I look up to, who I think are really intelligent, smart, better than me at certain things, I go and I grab a piece of what I think they're great at, and I try to emulate it in my life. Mm-hmm. If we spent time after time after time railing and beating the drum and whatever, we're not going to get anywhere with anybody. No. Sometimes it's the softer approach, which is we're just going to live the way we live, and we're going to conduct ourselves the way we conduct ourselves, and we're going to celebrate this and celebrate that and do our Pride Month still and do all the things that we do, and not go at this head on all the time, because you don't change minds that way. You change minds by living it.
Well, and definitely not from here.
Certainly not from here. We are in a different country, and we talk to Americans and love American friends and had amazing messages from Americans on Monday.
Yeah.
And, but we have our own stuff here that we need to fix in this country. And this show needs to be a place where people can come and enjoy the hockey talk and enjoy the jokes and all that stuff. And understanding that a society is not built on one opinion. There are plenty of people who listen to this show that have very different opinions than we do. And the stress between the gap between those opinions is often what produces the societies we are in. Every single era of the United States and Canada, frankly, on a smaller level, has been divided. It's just a question of how much and how. And I feel like my opinion on this is that we needed to take a step back, let other people handle it, watch how it played out, give you our opinions. And I'm not going to be out here doing this every time. I'm just not.
Can I derail the show with something that's not an opinion? It's an objective fact.
Sure.
Several objective facts.
That's what you're here to do.
Okay. He is a misogynist. Talks about grabbing people by...
Yep.
You can't even fucking say it. You know? I just said fuck. You said grab him by the pussy. And that was 10 years ago and no one gave a shit. Kash Patel is currently leading one of the largest cover-up of child sex trafficking in human history. And that's who was in the locker room on the FBI's private jet, drinking with the American hockey team.
Mm-hmm.
And people are talking about, well, you know, so-and-so went when Biden was in office, and so-and-so went when Obama was in office, and so-and-so. This is not the same shit. And like I said, we know who you are. We know what you are. So you trying to fool us is a waste of everyone's time.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm fed up with it. Now, from the Canadian perspective, you know, I've been asked a number of times over the last 24 hours, which have not been a pleasant 24 hours for me, and least of which to do
It's
with
not
Twitter.
the politics. We'll talk about it.
We'll
though.
talk about that later. People have been messaging me off the hook about Austin Matthews.
Yep.
Because I talk about the Leafs for a living and he's the Leafs captain.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, one of the conversations is, you know, whenever the Leafs' next home game is, I know their next two games are on the road.
Saturday.
There you go. Oh, great. We'll be streaming it. So the Leafs' next home game, is he going to get booed when the team inevitably honors him?
No, that's Sean Bucci-Gross who asked that question. By the way, I found that really funny that he didn't ask it about Ottawa, though.
Yeah.
Found that interesting.
It's bad faith. And in the same way that I'm sure American media outlets are uninterested in Canadian hand-wringing about all this, I am not interested in a single thing any American media member has to say about Canada.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll get into that. Not interested in the slightest. Please shut the fuck up. John and crew. With Austin Matthews, should he get honored? Yes. Should he get booed when he's honored? No. And I'll tell you why. He's getting honored for winning a gold medal. He won the gold medal fair and square. The American hockey team, 2. The Canadian hockey team, 1. He won it fair and square. Cordial clap. Good for you. Winning the gold medal, winning a hockey game, was never the thing anyone had a problem with. We talked about the 3-on-3 overtime. Oh my God. We uploaded a video a little over a week ago about how 3-on-3 hockey to decide games at the Olympics is BS. Mm-hmm. The amount of comments from knuckle-dragging dumbasses who are like, oh, this is just sour grapes, meh. And it's like, this was uploaded over a week before that fucking game.
That was
you moron.
The day the tournament started, or the day before it, that was one of my biggest gripes with the tournament, when I was like, oh, this thing's starting and we could get to the situation where the gold medal is set at 3-on-3.
Like, sure enough.
It happened.
Yeah, and then, sure enough.
Yeah, now people are going back and being like, you're coping. I was like, that's
you can't cope with something that hasn't happened. What are you talking about? So there was that.
Yeah.
You know, the too many men call. We talked about it. We moved on from it, and that was it. They didn't capitalize on their chances, and that's what we wanted Monday's show to be. They played good enough to win. They didn't win. Here's the things they could have done differently to maybe win next time. Shucks, they didn't win. Congratulations to the U.S.
Yeah.
That's what we wanted it to be. So that's why I want Matthews to get his due. Now,
you can never say he's not a winner anymore, though.
He won.
And the Hughes brothers we're taking shots at the Toronto media about how he's a great captain. I'm like, I don't think anyone in Toronto was criticizing that. It was American media
all the Leafs fans during the Olympics talking about how Matthews is a bad captain for Team USA.
It was freaking Joe Haggerty in Boston. Like, I don't know,
guys,
I don't know what we need to do here,
guys.
Anyway,
Anyway, what people have a problem with, Trump, besides being directly responsible for the murder of American citizens through his ICE Gestapo, with the context of Canada, he threatened our sovereignty. He threatened, and those players taking pictures with Carolyn Levitt and shit. Don't think we haven't forgotten with her smile on her face. That looked a little different at the time, but that smile on her face. Hey, we look forward to the U.S. Beating our soon-to-be 51st state, Canada. You fucking asshole. We'll never be your 51st state. And that's got nothing to do with hockey. That's got everything to do with you motherfuckers showing up at our front door with guns and tanks and shit. Of course we're going to feel a certain type of way about that. And you're the captain of a Canadian NHL team, Austin, Brady, Connor Hellebuck might as well be.
Quinn until a couple months ago.
Quinn until a few months ago, and you shook hands with that motherfucker? Fuck you. That dude threatened the place where I live and actively continues to do so. And I'm supposed to just look at you and feel fine about that? Fuck you. Now, it's not as simple as being a good person or being a bad person. I've heard nothing but good stories about Austin during his time.
Literally
in Toronto.
not a bad one. Brady too.
During Austin's time in Toronto, the way he deals with kids, an executive from Sick Kids Hospital told me directly, like sheepishly, because they're like, I don't even know if he wants me to tell this, but like he shows up at Sick Kids, Austin shows up at Sick Kids unannounced to spend time with the kids at Sick Kids Hospital all the time. That is an objectively good thing to do. But when someone threatens the sovereignty of the country where you make a living, where you've built a life, and you shake hands with that man, you give that man a signed jersey, you smile and pose with that man, that's got nothing to do with hockey. And of course, I'm going to hate that you did that. And like people were like, I'm going to get the nameplate taken off of my jersey. Some people were like, I hope he's traded. Now,
that's a little much.
That's a little much. Honestly, I don't think it is.
I think it is. I think that's heat of the moment stuff.
It is heat of the moment, but that's where we're in the moment.
Yeah. And then a week from now, that'll go away. Greatest
player in franchise history.
No question.
Okay, so imagine this. Greatest, take Austin's name out of it, take the Leafs out of it. You cheer for the Pawtucket Patriots. It's a made-up team. Greatest player in franchise history. Greatest goal scorer in franchise history. Your team's captain. One day you find out they're super stoked on Hitler. You're going to feel a little different about that player. You know what I mean? So I'm not saying trade the guy. I'm not saying take his nameplate off or don't. But people's feelings of genuine hurt from that are absolutely valid. Now, there's going to be the conversation of, is he one of the Kachucks? Because those guys are disgraceful bootlickers, like genuinely enthusiastic participants in this. Disgraceful human beings. I'm not sure there's a difference. I'm not sure it matters if you are an enthusiastic participant in this, a passive participant in this, or simply a useful idiot. At the end of the day, you're all going to be in that picture forever. And no one is ever going to forget it. and no one should. And he's probably going to score at some point in the next few days.
Maybe in the next few hours.
Few
Play
games,
tonight.
next few hours, right? Maybe he's already scored by the time you're listening to this because it's up late, and that's my fault, and we'll get into that. If you cheer for the team that he plays for, I mean, your team's up a goal that they weren't.
Mm-hmm.
If you cheer for, the Sens or you cheer for the Leafs and those guys score, you should feel good about it. You don't have to feel good about those players. And Brady's going to blow this popsicle stand. Like we all,
Brady's getting traded like real soon.
We all know
there's a reason why there's like profiles being done on his wife in People magazine.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah. No disrespect. This is not a shot at Ottawa.
It's not.
I just think he wants to be a star, and it's going to be hard for him to be the star he wants to be playing for a Canadian team.
But put it this way. After the past few days, like I've always wanted Austin to be a Leaf for life. And I'm open.
I
disagree with that 100,000%.
Okay.
And Jesse, go ahead. You were going to say something.
No, because Steve, I think it was important for you to get that out there because I think people's feelings are always valid in that, like, hey, somebody's actions, somebody did something and I feel a certain way about this and this is how I then feel. Like that's completely justified. And Adam, I think it was great that you added your American perspective on it. I don't think the audience understood that before, but so I'm glad you explained like where you're coming from as kind of a part-time American.
Well, I love that
in your childhood.
I love the country. I do.
Yeah. So I wanted to just add on because I think what you were saying is kind of where I landed on the whole thing yesterday, in that like I'm not a fan of Donald Trump. I don't think any of us are.
If anybody on this panel was going to be MAGA, it'd be you.
Oh yeah,
I'm just saying.
So like I'm allowed, like I'm sure people watching this right now, some of them sitting there, they think I'm a loser. For whatever reasons they have in their mind, they think I'm a loser,
Can you
right?
fucking imagine?
So
the gall.
So
of all goddamn people,
MAGA Jesse is,
so just the same way, like you out there might think I'm a loser, I think that individual who's the president of the United States is a loser. Like I think Kash Patel's a loser too. So
that guy is the biggest fucking dork in the universe.
That guy's a fucking
Holy
dork
shit.
and a giant loser.
And also a very active protector of pedophiles.
Yes, and on top of all the political stuff, I think he's a loser. And so when I see them inviting a guy that I think is a giant loser into their locker room, my feelings then are like, oh, you associate with losers. And then you start going even further where you gather around his phone and you start pouring champagne on him. And I never played sports at any type of high level, not professionally, definitely. But I know how like locker rooms work and I know how teams work. You know how teams work just by being at a workplace. Teams are teams for a reason. They're very insular. And hockey might be the most team sport we have in sports, where it's like it's about brotherhood or womanhood, and it's about the guys in the locker room and we win for each other. And then when you win, it's about those guys. And to see you bring in somebody from the outside who's a loser and then make them feel like they're a part of that, I can't help but feel your association to this person is enough to include him in your brotherhood that you're not now also a loser just by proxy and association.
And these are American words. These are American words. The online has been flooded by Americans who are celebrating that win going, God, what a bunch of losers.
Yeah.
Listen, it's not going to mean anything coming from us when we literally cheer for the team that lost.
And that's, I think, I want people to understand this isn't coming from the perspective of the Canadian who is the actual loser and that our team lost.
Never had a problem with them winning. They won fair and square. Congratulations.
The celebration is fine. I'm talking about my personal feelings, and you don't have to share them, towards two individuals that are the main topic of this conversation, Donald Trump and Kash Patel. So, and I'm glad you brought this up, Adam. When it was Matthew Tkachuk puts a gold medal around Donald Trump, like that
symbolic.
that is an association with a dude that you are chummy with.
Did you see the New York Post this morning?
No.
No. Hold on. I want to go back to that.
No, because it's.
I know, but hold that.
Okay, no.
Let him go.
It's the front page literally said Trump wins gold.
Oh, no. Okay. Yeah. So, no, definitely. So,
it's not theirs anymore.
Well,
it's not even theirs anymore.
And I was going to get to that for sure. I agree.
Sorry.
No, it's okay.
When Matthew Tkachuk is anointing Trump and giving him his gold medal to wear and everything, I'm allowed to feel like Matthew Tkachuk is a loser in that moment, because I think Donald Trump, with everything, Steve, you have correctly stated about him, through those things, I think he's a loser. I'm going to use the word consistently. You're going to get sick of it. So now my opinion of Tkachuk, whether I had that before or whether this seals it, I'm allowed to have that opinion of that guy based on everything he is doing in front of my eyes.
And he has every right to do it.
And he has every right to, that's they have
the
right to go there.
Sure.
And I'm allowed to feel my way about them going there.
Yes.
As a Canadian who has no vote in your country, who has never lived there.
We're not even telling you how to vote. We're just telling you how we feel.
I'm just saying, based on the images I see with my eyes and the videos I see, I think it's loser activity to put a gold medal around that man's neck. And the other 20 guys who stand around there in his office being like, hey, let's go. We love being around this guy. I also think that's loser activity. You guys look like a bunch of losers being there with him, because I personally wouldn't do that because I don't like that guy. And you guys all chose to do that. And this is now my feeling towards all of you, including Austin Matthews, who's the captain of my favorite hockey team. You're kind of a loser, Austin, for going there and just being like, yeah, this is awesome, because I think that guy is garbage.
I want to ask you something. Will you feel the same way when inevitably, unless Montreal or Edmonton win a cup this spring, when inevitably another American team wins the cup and a bunch of Canadians go?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. That's why
I know that's going to be the rebuttal. So I just want to get everybody on record.
No, because what the
difference is now, I think, is that you touched on it. This man has threatened our sovereignty.
Yeah.
He hadn't in 2016. He hadn't in 2017.
Right. He'd done a bunch of other horrible things.
Sure.
But
we didn't like him then either.
With regards to Canada, yeah. That's why I wanted to mention, so the Panthers are the reigning Cup champions. They had their White House visit. Brad Marchand is on that team. Sam Bennett is on that team. Sam Reinhart is on that team. Now, I don't know if all three were there. I believe Brad was for sure. Let's assume all three were there.
Sure.
It's hockey. All three were there. Yeah, no, that's horrible. That's horrible.
To you. But we have to say that.
So here's another thing I want to get out of the way. Because what they like to do is just flood the zone with whataboutism. I am not claiming to be on a higher ground. I am not claiming to be on the correct side of anything. When people use the term the tolerant left in the big 2026, they haven't learned another fucking term in 10 years, right? I'm not trying to claim to be the good guy or on the good guy side. I'm not even trying to identify the good guys. I know who the bad guys are. The bad guys are those who associate themselves with him. You are the bad guys. Oh, I've been a listener. I don't fucking care. You're the bad guys. History will know you as the bad guys. Unless the bad guys win, then they'll just fucking rewrite everything. But you're usually too stupid to pull that off. That's how this works.
So when you mentioned the New York Post headline today, which is, Trump wins gold. It's him at the speech. From all intents and purposes, the speech went about as, the way people, the right loved it, the left didn't, What I think was interesting is that, and I tweeted this yesterday, I saw the Kash Patel moment and I saw the Trump phone call, not just in the context of the women's hockey team, but also in a stolen valor sort of way. Because these guys, all from different backgrounds, different income levels, families, and that sort of thing, and whatever. They won this through hard work and attention to detail and missing birthdays and school dances and Christmases and, spending entire weekends at the rink. And we all know the stories. They're amazing stories. And for that to be, in this case, specifically with this administration, cheapened and used as, they were literally the next Nicki Minaj. Nicki Minaj has become what she's become. And that group loves to use that.
And he's already chewed her up and spit her out.
Of course. And that's and so it wasn't, and I know the American team got their headlines and stuff on Sunday, but like he took them and used their hard work and made it about himself. And I don't think that they're going to know that. I don't think they're going to see it that way.
I don't feel bad for them.
I'm not asking you to.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that's what happened.
Yeah.
And I think that is the criminal part of this, because they deserve it in a pure victory sort of way. This is, I would argue the Olympic gold is sort of like a more, if you're very moralistic about it, it's a more pure way, more pure championship to win than even the Stanley Cup, because the Stanley Cup, you get paid to win, right? The Olympics, you're just there. Yes, you get athlete endorsement deals. I fucking understand that.
There's maybe more factors
but you're
that
not,
go into a Stanley Cup.
You're not signing a 10-year, $80 million contract with the U.S. Olympic team.
There's more factors, more variables that go into a Stanley Cup.
You are the greatest of your country, and you have earned this. And I was sad to see it, in my view, used for political gain. And I don't think when they went to see Clinton or Bush or Obama or Biden, or even back in the 80s with Reagan, that it was used quite that same way. It's always a little bit political. It's always a little bit used as, aren't we great? But it's not quite like this.
The sports teams visiting the White House used to be a bipartisan affair.
Yeah.
You go do it because that's a cool place to visit, not unlike you visiting it as a child. It's like, whoa, look at this thing that we all kind of know. It's one of the most famous buildings in history. It's the White House. We're going to go meet the president. And there never used to be a big political attachment to it. But somewhere along the last few years, it has become a political statement when you are there. So things have changed, and things do change throughout history.
Yeah, because the guy just is on a world tour of making everyone's life worse.
Yeah, and you have to,
what
you got to understand.
Don't like. And Adam, here, can I just correct one thing,
please?
You said stolen valor. This is enthusiastically surrendered valor.
Sure, yeah. And I also think, like, listen, I'll be open about my bias. Like, one of the things that has bothered me the most in this, and we obviously haven't touched it on it much, is the comments about NATO in Afghanistan. Steve and I, along with many other Canadians, have friends that served there, and we have a friend that did 3 tours there. Mm-hmm. Funnily enough, his name is Steve. And he told me from time, like, we used to message on Facebook and stuff, and he'd tell me about it. And that administration spat in the face of everybody that was a NATO ally for 15 to 20 years in Afghanistan. Canada was not in Afghanistan because Canada had any beef with Afghanistan before that. Canada was there supporting an ally. And, when I need, like, even guys like Wayne Gretzky, I'm like, I get why Gretzky doesn't understand this, because he doesn't live here and has not been exposed to our rage about it. But you spat in the face of our military, of our, of people that literally, because in the military, you like give up your citizenship and become a soldier. It's a different designation under the law. And you sacrifice, at very least, a good chunk of your early 20s, right through to probably your late 20s or maybe even longer, for your country. And so for that comment, they were just in a support role, it didn't matter, they weren't. 169 Canadians died.
What the fuck would you know about it?
People came home and were never the same. And and that's the same in every country that participated. And so for us, our rage comes from the fact that we were willingly the United States' best friend for every single year after World War II. And they just turned around and punched us. And so that is also part of where we're coming from. There is an anger here about the treatment. And, in the States, they'll talk about trade deals or whatever else. And, Canada's taking advantage of whatever. You have demeaned us in the most elemental way. And
It's
so,
got
yeah,
nothing to do
we're
with
going to
sports.
we're going to be furious about it. And what's funny about it is when you talk about it to Americans, they're like, I don't understand why you're so upset.
Well, and I felt, here's what I felt bad about during the Olympics, because I had to really compartmentalize. I know there's a lot of Americans listening to the show right now who this is very uncomfortable listen. What I had to compartmentalize is there was a lot of chirping coming from American fans, and that's okay. Like
That's sports, though.
I like chirps.
sports, and it's playful. But we're not. A lot of us are not as receptive to it right now.
Yeah.
At the moment.
Yeah.
And if weirdly, I didn't feel the same way about friggin' France.
No, but you got to find
Czechia.
a way to take that not personally.
Right.
Yeah.
So I had to
They're not-
compartmentalize it, and you stop. I mean, there were so many. You can't decipher, okay, which one is being a troll, which one is doing it out of fun. So you just shut it off, and you just become this vessel of talking about hockey. That's what I did. This is about fun. I'm not letting anyone ruin the fun. Hooray, let's have fun.
Did you have fun?
I had lots of fun.
So did I. Had a great time.
I think there's an important
He
distinction.
ruins
there
everything he touches.
I know.
Everything he
with
touches.
separating the individual Americans who listen to this show. Like, I don't have any problem with anybody. The issues lie as a Canadian are with the administration, not the people who just
Yeah,
When I
that's
said-
so key.
Not just, hey, you live in America, there's any problem there, or you wanted to root for Team USA at the Olympics, that's fine. Like, no, this is strictly the administration and the policies and what they've done here.
Can I also say, I have no idea what's being said within your borders. Like, last year, when Canada won the Four Nation face-off, I said, you will never have this country and you will never have that trophy. And some Americans, not Trumpers, felt really not good about that. And they messaged me and they let me know about it. And I was like, guys, you clearly you don't understand this moment at all. At all. You don't understand where I'm coming from. You don't understand that I'm not talking about you, Sally in Maine, specifically.
Yeah.
You don't understand that I'm not talking about Jake in Michigan.
Yeah, those individuals were also confused as to why Canadians were booing the flag. Because it's not like that started out of nowhere. It was a response to what was happening.
It was the 51st state.
To our country. So-
I'm going to stand and enthusiastically sing your song when you're talking about taking over ours.
Mm-hmm.
The fuck are you talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Right? And maybe they're just not getting the info. I don't know. I don't know what's being,
not. And
I don't know what's being said in your borders.
Also, I have to say, like that's my main thing. Like this is not anti-American. It's anti that group, and I don't have any problem saying that. And I said it at the beginning of our American streams because you have to be honest. Like I did all the USA streams, right? It's a little bit. People were like, "Why are you guys doing that? You're Canadian." A couple of people, whatever. And I'm like, listen, I want to be free of that for a minute and just enjoy the Olympics.
We have a lot of American listeners.
Of course. And I know that this is in no way reflective of that entire country, which is why we started this show the way that we did, outlining it. I gave you my American heritage. I love that country.
And that's...
I don't like where it's at right now, and I think that's all right. But, it comes back to, as a group, how do we feel about this? I don't love it. I thought, I saw the Athletic article about it. I think the title was How the Americans Won Gold and Lost the Room. And I think, I think that there is and this is my opinion again, and you guys might disagree. I think there's an overestimation about how much effect this is actually going to have on fans in the game. I think a few weeks from now, this will be behind us. The news cycle moves too quickly. People will be talking about playoffs, and one of the cruxes of that piece was, well, there's going to be like people are going to be alienated from this, and it's going to prevent hockey from growing. I don't see that, and I don't agree with that. I think maybe for some, but I don't see this. Are you really going to stop watching hockey because you disagree with that? Maybe you are, but you're far more principled than I am, and good for you. And I'm going to continue watching this game. And I'm not going to love that moment with Austin or any of those guys. I'm not going to love it.
Yeah.
You can't get me to love it. But that doesn't negate the fact that Austin's been a great player for the Leafs, the best ever.
Yep.
He's been a very, very good citizen here in terms of, and I mean, global citizen. I mean, you know, you talk about the charity stuff, all that stuff, that I can take all of that on balance. I can.
Mm-hmm.
And so I want anybody who's American, who's listening, who might feel like, I don't understand this, or you feel attacked or whatever, the target is very clearly two people in this scenario, right? Very clearly two. We've outlined who they are. You don't, and to my American listeners, I would encourage you to try to understand how you might feel if another country, which was bigger and more powerful than you, said, you should join us or we're coming. It's an ugly, ugly feeling, especially when it was somebody that we did nothing to.
Steve, how are you going to feel about Austin going forward?
These players, not just Austin, because there's a lot of people wondering how to feel about the players on this team. They're vessels of hockey talent. Get out there and play. That's how I feel right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not enthusiastic about this person.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? How am I going to talk about it if he scores like tonight? Or I don't know. I don't know if it'll be much different. You know, it's my son's favorite player. It's got posters.
Mm-hmm. A little icky right now.
It's extremely.
It's a little unfair of me to ask you, put you on the spot right now because it is so fresh.
No, of course. Like I'm not gonna.
And it may not last.
A week perspective on it might change your mind entirely. A month, who knows?
Or you know,
it's just a part of the full picture, maybe.
Well, yeah, like
because
or
there is
I'm
so
probably
much
gonna
good
do.
there.
What I'm probably gonna do is do what everyone's done over the past cursed decade, which is be forced to remember it but move on.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I think that's fair. I see the same in Ottawa, by the way. These are all these discussions about Matthews is like, man, it's the same thing I'm seeing on Sens Twitter too.
Yeah, with Brady.
Yeah, 100%. And people are like, oh, I'm really upset, whatever. I get it in the moment, but like, does that make Brady a bad citizen, a bad captain of the Senators? I don't think it does. I think it's an awkward moment. I think it's a part of the story. But I
don't think he knows a fucking thing about Canada.
Okay, well, but I can't comment on that because I don't know. All I know is that
I'm giving you my.
He's been a good citizen in Ottawa. That's all I can tell you.
One thing I know, like, this isn't gonna stop me from like doing my job.
No,
like you're allowed to work with people who you disagree with. You're allowed to have your personal opinions about people, but still be cordial with them. You know, next time the Sens are in town and I gotta go in a scrum with Brady, it's not like I'm like, I'm not like upset with this individual. I don't think any NHL player particularly likes anybody in the media. I don't think he likes me just by default of my job, but he can have that personal opinion of me and still give me the whatever answer I needed in whatever scrum. And then the same thing's gonna be with Austin, right?
Well, you've never shaken hands with a guy who was friends with Jeffrey Epstein, so
I don't know, Steve. I don't know.
Allegedly.
Have I?
Well, not allegedly.
Who have I shaken hands with?
On goddamn camera. You know what I mean?
There's a lot of people on that list.
Yeah. Well, you know, lie. Document proving lie, video proving lie, audio proving
Steve,
lie.
how many jets you've been on in your life?
Not that many.
Hey, would you have bought his jet?
Yeah. No.
You know who did?
Him.
We didn't shake Gary Bettman's hand when we met him at the Amazon thing, right?
I've never met him.
I would shake.
We were in the room with him.
We were in the room with him. I've never.
You didn't go up to him? I'm trying to think.
I would shake his hand.
Yeah. But then I'm trying to think.
Like, I'm not a child. Like, here's the thing. The other thing is the
He's never been accused of sex trafficking. I don't like the way he runs my hockey league. But he's never been accused of being a criminal.
The most powerful person that I've had the privilege of shaking their hand. I don't know if it's a privilege anymore, of shaking their hand, and if they could have been in association.
Well,
oh right.
That's what I was trying to go through in my head.
Yeah, I think
I don't need to do that on air.
I think it's this. We told you how we feel. You know how we feel. We're not going to hit this every day, but you know how we've reacted when the Hockey Canada scandals happen.
Yeah,
right?
And it wasn't like, well, they're Canadian, so let it go.
Like, we were pretty hard.
You know?
I think you know how we feel on this stuff. And I think, just to wrap it up, because there are hockey things we got to talk about, including, I got to compliment Kyle Dubas. Get ready.
Oh, me too.
Major compliments.
Me too.
You know how we feel. This is how we feel. If you are ever confused about how we feel, you can refer back to this episode. And we're going to move forward now.
Trade.
And let's talk about the trade. Let's talk about the Colorado Avalanche and the Pittsburgh Penguins making what I think is a phenomenal trade for both of them. Now, this is it's an interesting one because for Colorado, if you just look at the trade, you're probably like, why? Cap space is why. We'll get to that in a second. I want to give Kyle Dubas his flowers.
Can you read out the trade?
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Excuse me. The Pittsburgh Penguins acquired Samuel Girard in a 2028 second round pick from the Avs for Brett Kulak. So the Penguins got the Avs to attach a second rounder and put Samuel Girard in the trade, who, by the way, I think could really help a team like the Leafs. That would have been great. I'd love to have him on the team.
He's a good player, and I think he matches exactly what the Penguins, how the Penguins try to play hockey. They got a crazy amount of puck movers now.
I don't think Sam Girard ever panned out the way that perhaps the Avs, or I think he was drafted by the Senators. Was he not? Was he not part of the Duchesne trade?
Or
that draft
you know
pick
what?
was.
I think he was.
Or his draft pick was, whichever it was.
Yeah.
I don't think he ever panned out to be the top pairing defenseman that they needed or thought he was going to be. But in Colorado, that really doesn't matter because they've had the emergence of, and I'm just pulling up the name, Sam Malinsky, who just got signed to the contract that he got signed to, and he looks phenomenal this year. So Joe Sakic's going, I need another center.
He was drafted by the Preds.
It
was a three-way trade with the Sens and Preds.
Got it.
Yep.
Joe Sakic said, I need to shed salary. And Kyle Dubas said, I know you need to shed salary. And you're going to pay to shed salary. And by the way, here's Brett Kulak. And what I love about this trade and what I've always said about Dubas, people from Pittsburgh, I know you're waiting for this. I've always said, with a couple notable exceptions, his best attribute as a GM are trades.
As a seller, as an asset acquirer, he's exemplary. He's really, really good at that specific thing.
He's everything I want a modern GM to be, in that he's kind of playing NHL with it. It's like, I'm going to acquire these assets. I'm going to move things around, and we get crazy with the draft picks. It's a lot of fun.
He did a good job with the Leafs at that, like very early in his tenure, when before I think he was even officially named GM. When he was named GM, they were already a playoff team. But during that weird little pocket before Lou Lamoriello became GM and him and Mark Hunter were splitting duties, he did such a good job at acquiring assets, but it looks so much better now that he's doing it with a team that's already in the playoffs.
Yeah, this is where he's going to thrive. It's this middle ground where he's supposed to be bad, but then now they're good and he can sell and add at the same time. He's in his element.
Yeah. This is a great move for the Penguins. I think it's exactly Girard, the way he plays is exactly what the Penguins need further down the lineup, especially with Letang being old and Karlsson being old, and maybe they're not there in the next couple of years. He's
the perfect Dubas defenseman, undersized puck mover.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like
1,000%.
To a T.
And so, the Penguins have something like, I have to pull this up. The draft picks they have are absolutely insane in the next few drafts. They have a first, 2 seconds, 2/3, 2026. They have a first, 2 seconds, 2/3, 2027. They have a first, 3 seconds and 2/3 in 2028. So that means that is a boatload of picks in the top 3 rounds. And the team's going to make the playoffs.
Now he's storing them like a squirrel who knows winter is coming. And make no mistake, winter is coming.
Yeah, one day Crosby and Malkin will not be there.
Crosby, Malkin, Letang, Erik Karlsson at some point. Even Brian Rust is getting older.
Yeah, Ricard Raquel. I mean, they have 16 picks in the first 3 rounds in the next 3 years.
Yeah,
I can also see a third, one of those 2/3 he has in 26 becoming, maybe 2/4 and a
Oh, you're so right. You're so right.
You're right.
You're so right.
fifth. Why have a third when I can have multiple fourths?
Oh my God. He loves
I can
multiple fourths.
He also is
You're
going to
so
have.
right.
He's also
and then
going,
both the guys don't pan out.
He's also going to have 40 something like
The drafting is a problem.
Yeah.
$48 million to spend this summer. Now, there aren't a lot of great free agents available, and so the numbers on July 1st are going to be berserk for mid-level guys.
Yeah.
Like Jane Schwartz and who else is available? There's like
Bobby McMahon. Scott Laughton.
The contracts are going to be bonkers. But where I think Kyle
Christian
Dubas,
Dvorak? Or did he sign an extension?
he signed the extension.
Ah, right.
5 years, believe it or not, with Philly.
Good for him.
What is going to be interesting is I don't think Kyle Dubas is going to go out, and I think he's going to be active in free agency, of course. But I think a lot of that cap space, when it gets eaten up again, will get eaten up by trades.
I think they're about to have a really interesting trade deadline too.
Yeah.
Because Crosby's out 4 weeks.
Yep.
Them making the playoffs is by no means guaranteed.
Yep.
That's going to hurt.
And he should try to make the playoffs.
I think so too. But like this is, I don't know what you call this. Like it's not buying, it's not selling.
Mm-hmm.
I would argue. Here's what I'm going to say. I think Girard is arguably a better defenseman, which is why he makes $5 million and he got a second round pick. Like this is it's a good trade for both teams because Colorado's end of it is incomplete and we'll get to that. But the trade in a nutshell is a smash home run victory.
You look at it on paper and you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, this is one of the like, if I was doing a trade tree about this, the challenge would be like sometimes a trade is part of a tree and it's so odd that you are forced to do additional research and you got to go, why did they do this?
You have to find the context why that trade happened in history.
Yeah.
And if 5 years down the road you just looked at this on paper and somebody who wasn't like living and breathing the NHL at this time probably doesn't understand the context.
That
of
was
this
stupid.
trade. Right.
Yeah, no, but it's to give Colorado cap space.
Yeah.
Right?
It's for Nazem Kadri.
So supposedly they have $8.7 million in cap space,
Or Sidney Crosby.
which is a lot of people were pointing out is really interesting. I don't think that's happening. He's going to stay in Pittsburgh forever.
No, yeah.
I've given up. I've given up. White flag. It's not happening.
I said Kadri because Dreger went on TSN radio and was like, "Oh, Kadri's available," and then this trade happens, and it looks like maybe.
Well, it's
they
funny
bring him back
because Colorado's trying to win, and they got rid of a player they know they can win with because they won with him, but they also won without him because he was hurt for a lot of that run. And they might use the space to acquire another player they know they can win with because they won with him in Nazem Kadri. So the trade in a vacuum is obviously not good for Colorado, but it's incomplete because we know they're gaining cap space and we know that it's for the purpose of buying.
Adam and Steve. If you were an acquiring team, would you be worried about the 26-27 season, the 27-28 season, and the 28-29 season where you would have to pay Nazem Kadri $7 million?
No,
not when.
Not if I'm Colorado.
Listen, if Scott Laughton goes to free agency, don't be shocked if he gets $5 million.
Oh yeah,
Nazem Kadri at 7, that is going to be a fucking steal.
And
even if he scores 40 points.
Heading into the playoffs, if you get Kadri, what you get to do is take a little burden off Nathan McKinnon heading into the playoffs. Take a little burden off Brock Nelson. Those are guys who just went through an intense Olympics. One of them got hurt. They've both been playing incredibly. You need them, right? So you think about the team once they get to the playoffs, but the road to get there is important too. And like, since the Olympics have ended, people have been making the joke to me since Canada lost and they know I feel bad. They're like, well, at least you have 25 Leaf games to look forward to. And I'm like, oh my God.
That's the present.
Is that how many games are left?
Riley Myers, let's go.
Yeah. There's still like nearly, that's just under a third of the season left.
Yep.
What? That's crazy. So if you can make a trade now that eats up like a quarter of the regular season and then takes you into the playoffs, I think there's value in that too.
Do you think there's a way Calgary retains on this, or do you think somebody's going to be desperate enough and just like, I don't
we'll
pay
think so. I think there's too many people looking for centers.
Yeah.
And
if they retain, I think it's minimal.
there was that report yesterday that Kadri had officially requested a trade.
Yeah, I mentioned that.
Yeah.
Dreger on the TSN radio.
And I look at what Colorado has, guys. What are they going to trade to Calgary? Because look at what they have in terms of draft picks. 0 in the first 3 rounds this year.
I think there's a lot of value in just getting him off the books.
What?
Well, no. Sorry. I'm not saying trade him for nothing, but there's value in getting that money off the books.
That $7 million you're saving over this season, the next 3 is worth something.
Oh, yeah.
to Calgary.
Yeah.
It's not going to age great.
Steve's right about that.
Next year, they've got a first and 2 seconds. That's valuable.
Okay.
The following year, they don't have their second, but they have their first and their third, and all the way through. They also have 4 sevenths.
They have 4 sevenths?
They have 4 7th round picks this year for some weird reason.
What?
Nobody wants
Holy
those.
shit.
Nobody cares.
I don't think I've ever seen a 4
if one
on
of those
Puck
4
Media.
7 picks plays, good for them.
That's crazy.
Can you turn 4 sevenths into like
A third.
1/5? Like, how does that
Does
work?
every draft pick this year get it done? So that is 9 draft picks, but it's 2 fourths, 3 fifths, and 4 sevenths. Does every draft pick this year get it done?
Do you think that Kyle Dubas is looking at those 4 sevenths and going, "Oh, we can go back. Ooh, that looks good."
Justin's running the board today. I mean, yeah,
Hell yeah.
I do think he is.
So, or like you got 2 seconds next year. So what if 1 or 2 of those is the star of the show in the trade, but then you have just this. That's crazy that they have more than 1 pick per round, but they don't have a pick until the 4th round.
I also
That's crazy.
can I just throw this out there, just back to the Pittsburgh Penguins for just a second?
Yeah, sure.
No, I'm not trying to like derail thing. I think it's amazing that they turned that Oilers trade into what they turned it into. They turned it into getting out from the Jari contract after a 10-week run where he was good. After trying to waive him last year.
All hail Kyle.
He's got 2 more years left on this deal after this one, and the Edmonton Oilers are now saddled with
All
it.
hail Kyle.
And
he's done an unreal
He's
job.
brought in Skinner. Skinner's been very good.
Yeah.
And then he can re-sign Skinner or not.
You change your mind as new evidence presents itself. Holy shit, what a job.
And then he goes and is able to take Brett Kulak, who was a part of that trade,
Yep.
and say, all right, not only are you going to give me a second, but you're going to take Kulak back because I know you need a defenseman, and that's going to make the monetary part easier because it's really only a 3.75 or whatever it is, or it's like a $2 million, $3 million difference. Like, and I think Brett Kulak's a valuable defender.
Sure.
I think he'll play good minutes for the Colorado Avalanche. He's been to 2 straight Stanley Cup finals.
Yep.
Like, that's valuable on your 5, 6, 7 defenseman.
Was he on the Avs when they went?
Kulak? I have no idea.
I can't remember.
But regardless, it's the point. The point is that is unbelievable asset management.
Oh.
And that is exactly what the Toronto Maple Leafs need. Funnily enough. So it's funny.
You know what? We should probably completely yard sale our relationship with him for 1 more year of a lame duck president. What are we doing?
It's a masterclass, and I'm excited for what the Colorado Avalanche are going to do. I just don't know what they're going to move on from. I guess you get the next 2 years first round picks to move. I think they got to go for it though. I think you have to this year.
Kulak, the reason I was like, wait, was he on the Avalanche? He played against the Avalanche in 22 with the Oilers.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You guys like my shacket?
Yes, it's very nice.
You know where it's from?
A store.
I do, actually. I do or know where it's from. Thank you for stepping on that.
Oh, did I wreck your joke? I'm sorry.
Okay.
Jesse, listen. You were Steve was wearing his quarter zip. Jesse, I know you've got some Doer jeans.
Yeah.
This first off, when do you ever see me not on the podcast with a black t-shirt because I'm too damn hot?
You like the Simon Cowell vibe.
Yeah.
It breathes.
You are sweaty.
Doer uses Cool Max fibers that help regulate your temperature.
Are you cool maxing?
I'm Cool Maxing right now. I'm looks maxing and cool maxing. And by the way, it helps me regulate my temperature. Maybe not my mood, but my temperature for sure.
They should add that.
They should.
They should add cool maxing ability.
Also, their jeans are antimicrobial, which you'll love because you can wear them more between washes and it helps them stay fresh. When you're a sweaty boy like me who refuses to wash jeans, that's important. Really important. Now, I know you'll love Doer as much as I do. Also, if you want to look sexy like me, I mean, who doesn't? You should check it out. Get your own pair of jeans, get a cool shacket, go to doer.ca/SDP. You'll get 15% off your first order. You don't even have to have one of these in your neighborhood. You just have to order it to your house. Again, Doer, DUER.ca/SDP for 15% off. It's doer.ca/SDP. So Dom Lucian did a quick, and this is just for the playoff hunt, just so everybody, to reset everybody, tell you where we're at. He has a couple of charts on who's in, who's on the bubble, and who's definitely not going to make it. So, for instance, on the Eastern Conference, the basically in group is the Lightning and the Carolina Hurricanes. The safe shots,
pretty small group.
Safe shots, Montreal. Likely bets, Buffalo, Detroit, Pittsburgh. The bubble is Columbus, Washington, Islanders, Sens. They're all between 41 and 59%.
Oh, Leafs are on the outside of that.
Unlikely bets, Boston at 33%.
Boston?
Florida at 30%. Toronto at 21%. Long shots are Philly and New Jersey, and then basically out of the New York Rangers. And then in the Western Conference, there are 4 teams that are basically in: Colorado, Dallas, Minnesota, Vegas. Safe shots are the Mammoth and the Kings. Likely bets are the Ducks and the Oilers. Unlikely would be the Sharks and Preds. Long shots, Seattle, New Jersey. What am I saying? Winnipeg. And then basically out Blues, Blackhawks. And we know about the Flames and Canucks.
Which category is Boston in?
Interestingly enough, this is why I brought it up. The unlikely bets, because...
Am I missing something?
Well, I think because there's maybe some probabilities. And again, it's a full article. But
they're 10th place.
Yeah, and they are second wild card.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And they are, and it's interesting because the Sabres have a 79% chance. But according to Dom's model, the Bruins have a 33% chance.
Oh, alrighty.
And it's probably based on how they played and expected goals and some more. I'm giving you the baseline. Read his article.
Sure. Of all the things you threw out there, I was like, Boston?
Well, especially with the Caps and Blue Jackets and Islanders, mostly Caps and Blue Jackets immediately trailing Boston and yet having a better percentage of getting in.
Well, yeah, the Islanders is because they're in the
third spot.
Washington has not been good. And they've played look at that. They're tied with Columbus. They've played 3 fewer games though.
Yeah.
Which is a huge problem.
I've been shocked by Washington this season.
I thought they were going to be A-okay.
I think I had them winning the Metro.
I might have too.
I thought they were doing a fantastic job with their young talent and bridging this Ovechkin era to this new era and like everything they got going with Strome. I don't know. And I love their defense. Faravari, Carlson,
friggin'
I don't know
Chikrin for whatever they got him for. Chikrin's having an all-world year.
I wonder if the Blue Jackets get a bump because they've won 7 straight games.
One thing I can point to, just looking at the standings, things are a little different if they can win some of these shootout games.
Yeah,
they're
though.
1-5 in the shootout. They might be in a playoff spot if they turn some of these around.
Couple of games.
If you reverse their record, they're in.
Yeah, which is tough. But I don't know. You got to win the games, right?
Yes, you do.
Yes, that's the whole thing. It's got to win.
Middle, and end. Yeah.
And they haven't been doing that.
They can be anywhere from nowhere close to second in the Metro.
I'm surprised.
Yep.
They're one of my bigger shockers this season.
The Toronto Maple Leafs have there have been a couple of reports, but I'll cite Darren Dreger on this one. That essentially they're going to take a look, and this is our worst nightmare. They're going to take a look at the first few games of this. So Tampa, Florida, tonight, tomorrow. And then who are they playing Saturday?
Ottawa, I believe.
Ottawa, who's not been great. And then next week, they got the the Flyers, who have not been great, the Devils, who have not been great, the Rangers, who have not been great, and they're going to base.
And then that's it.
Yes.
Because then
it's trade deadline.
Friday the 6th, and that's trade deadline day. So they're going to do their entire season evaluation over 6 games coming off a break. You're the dumbest people alive.
I resent them so genuinely.
They're so fucking stupid.
This is the dumbest thing you could ever do.
I resent them so much. And
They could win every game, and I'd still be like, you guys are fucking.
What about the months of evidence before that?
they don't operate that way, never have, no matter who's in charge. And you are allowed to sell and make the playoffs at the same time. I'm not saying abandon your goal of making the playoffs. You are allowed to sell and make the playoffs at the same time. The best example of this that I can give is in 2015 when the Calgary Flames traded Sven Baertschi and they got a second round pick that turned into Rasmus Andersson. And they also traded Curtis Glencross for a second and a third. I don't remember what that turned into. And then they made the playoffs, and the GM who made those friggin' trades was Bradley Treliving. But no, let's wait and see how you do on a wonky back-to-back in Florida after the Olympics, you dorks!
Now, I have some insight.
What?
Comes from the Toronto Maple Leafs itself. Did you know that in the last couple of days, the Toronto Maple Leafs has sent out a mass email to their season ticket holders?
No.
And I got a couple of messages about this, and I had to corroborate it with somebody that I know that is a season ticket holder. And I got the email forwarded to me.
Adam looked in the mirror and said, Hi,
Hi,
season ticket holder. I would like to confirm this.
Listen,
This is going to be
I don't
fun.
need season tickets. I own the team.
This is going to be fun for me. You'll see why. You'll
Okay.
see why.
So, I'm gonna protect the names of the innocent here, which are the season ticket holders in this instance. The NHL season has been a unique one. This is written by Keith Pelly, CEO of Maple Leaf Sports and Entertainment. This NHL season has been a unique one with a condensed schedule to accommodate for the participation of NHL players in the 2026 Winter Olympics and the competitive parity in the league and within the Atlantic Division in particular that we have not seen in a number of years.
Where's the butt?
In the 25-26 season for the Maple Leafs, so far, we've had a series of ups and downs, and unfortunately, with a number of key injuries that have affected the team, we are not currently in the position we had anticipated. But that is professional sports. This team has made the playoffs 9 seasons in a row, the longest streak in the NHL, and something to be proud of. But as I have said since joining the organization, our goal is not just to make the playoffs. We will do whatever is needed for this team to take the next step. Being able to witness and be a part of the passion and commitment of Leafs Nation has been for this team an honor, and we will not stop until we deliver a championship to our loyal Leaf fans in the city of Toronto. We understand this team's strengths as well as the areas we need to address, and we know that with the support of our fans, we will achieve the ultimate goal together. And while we always strive to be as open as possible, I know that you will understand in the world of professional sports, protecting competitive advantages is paramount and limits our ability to reveal team strategy until the appropriate time. Thank you as always for your continued passion and support for the team. We look forward to seeing you at Scotiabank Arena for these crucial weeks ahead as we push towards the 2026 NHL playoffs. It is impossible to understate the important role our fans play in delivering that season. Now, here's the fun part. As we manage the renewal process for the 2026-27 season, it is important to note that next season, the NHL will expand to 84 games. Your membership package.
Oh man, I forgot.
Oh, yeah.
I totally forgot.
Thank you for the update.
Your membership ticket package will remain unchanged from the current season with 41 season home games and 1 preseason game. As a member, you will have first opportunity to purchase tickets for the additional 42nd regular season game at a later date.
So they're doing 41 normal and then 1 game is a bonus game that they're just
So here's what
banking all the revenue on?
I had 2 different people quote me
That's shaky.
packages. I had somebody in the upper bowl and somebody in the lower bowl. The person in the lower bowl told me it's going to cost me an extra $700 to $800. The person in the upper bowl says it's going to cost me an extra $500. The package overall. So I believe what they're doing. Again, I'm not a season ticket holder, so I can't check my rich guy account. Although these people are not rich people.
Is that what they call it?
The rich guy account?
Yeah.
They haven't named it that yet, but that's the informal term
What
around
else
the
you
office.
got in there?
Oh man, just gold bars farting out of your
Scrooge
ass.
McDuck account.
No, these are people, by the way, these two people that message me are not rich people. These are working class people who decided that that's an asset for me and I'm going to spend money on it. And so they have said they are couching this as we're not raising the price, but with the extra game, of course they are.
Right.
And I wouldn't be shocked to see next season, well, you got to buy all 42 games and this is what it'll cost.
Well, and not to mention they already they can afford to not jack the price this year. They
did.
jacked it last year.
yeah. Say jacket.
I could see them.
Jack it.
I could see them though leaving that one game alone to get all of the extra revenue from that one game.
Yes.
You know, like I could see the season ticket sitting at 41. That's kind of how they've outlined it there. And not doing you got to buy 42 now. It's we charge a higher price on those individual tickets than we would charge a season ticket holder on that one extra game. So we actually make like, I don't know, very small percent higher on this one game than on the rest of the games of the season.
But more money is more money.
Exactly. It's a little shady.
They have an opportunity to do something really cool with that game, and
I don't think
early evidence appears to be.
No,
they're
the
not.
thing that you've been asking for is the fan game where it's like,
Yeah.
oh, it's cheap. We gave away 10,000 Coca-Cola tickets, and the fans are in
for
the
a
building.
preseason game.
Yeah, they did that for preseason game way back in like what was that, like 2012?
The dog days.
Yeah, I was like a
like
child
2010.
when they did that. But I assume they'll just use that one game to actually charge more. So, but I and like that's a negative view on what MLSE might do with it.
Yep.
But I think they've earned that.
I got a message from a Habs fan.
They haven't earned the benefit of the doubt.
I got a message from a Habs season ticket holder. Just got my renewal email and gotta say, I did not expect a price increase of 1.59% for the Habs tickets this year. That seems startlingly low, all things considered.
Hi.
That is a team that is in such a good position to completely rake their fans over the coals.
They're on the come up.
They're on the whoa. They're good and they're gonna be good
For a while.
for a long time. Some of their best guys aren't even there yet. And 1.59%.
It's good.
That's good. So anyway, I thought we should bring that up.
That's also one person story. Who knows? Maybe for most people, I went up 20%. Like, I don't know.
I do want to say too.
Also, just on your note there, it's interesting that he's still adamant about the playoffs. Of course, that's kind of what he's going to say, but
And we can't reveal our strategy.
can't reveal a strategy. It's just like, okay, guys, you're really going to try and fight for this. I don't know if you want to take insight into how Brad Treliving's thinking based on Keith Pelly's PR email, but I think this front office is fighting and grabbing at every last morsel left with this team to try and say that we are a playoff team this year and we are a contender.
Yeah.
If
Because
you are
Brad Treliving knows his job's on the line here.
the Leafs' next 3 games are against the Panthers, who aren't going to make it, the Lightning, who are going to make it no matter what.
And they're going to be dead on arrival in terms of injuries.
Yeah, and the Sens, no, it's the Lightning.
I know they'll be fine.
And the Sens aren't going to make it. It is in the best interest of all 3 of those teams to let the Leafs win.
Oh, yeah.
Let the Leafs win these next 3 games, and the Leafs will trade someone for a first-round pick so that they can send that first-round pick out the door to buy.
Yeah. I don't know how you guys felt about thinking about the team over the break at all, but I think it is an absolute travesty if they re-sign Bobby McMahon and don't get all the assets they can for him right now. One, you can re-sign him in the offseason. You can trade him, and if he loves Toronto so much, prove it to us. Come back here. 2, he could be the belle of the ball here. I know all of you other 31 other fan bases are like, Bobby McMahon. You're going to get a lot for Bobby McMahon with the limited amount of sellers that are out there. It's like, it's you and the Blues, and I don't know if the Jets can sell because they don't make trades.
You can't complain about Toronto dominating all the media coverage when you don't know anything about Bobby McMahon? How don't you know anything about this player?
He's going to get a
goal scorer
lot
for $1
of
million
assets, and he makes so little money. Imagine if you also retained on Bobby McMahon.
He would make less than league minimum.
He's also one of the fastest players in the league, and he's over 6 feet
And,
tall.
and play
is
on
gonna
potentially
help
your top line.
a Stanley Cup contender immensely.
Yep.
And you need to trade that asset regardless of if
Keith
you
Pelly
win-
would say he already is.
Oh my God. Regardless of if you are going to win the next 6 games in a row by 20 goals and everybody on your team breaks Sittler's record every game. Regardless of if that happens, Bob McMahon's going to get you a haul and you need to move him.
Yep.
And I think they're trying to galaxy brain their minds into thinking, no, re-sign him now, keep him for next year. Let's push towards the playoffs.
Well, here's what they'll say. Okay, well, you trade Bobby McMahon. Well, you got to replace Bobby McMahon. Well, you could replace Bobby McMahon with Bobby McMahon this summer. And, Jesse, you'll be blown away by this, Jesse. Bobby McMahon loves it in Toronto, not willing to give a hometown discount. and that Drake said it. And you know what? I don't blame Bobby. He's 29. He's got to make his money.
yeah.
If I'm him, I'd say thanks, Toronto, but I'm going to the open market on the biggest jump in free agency, and there's nobody available.
You're going to do
Panarin is
really
signed.
good in Utah. Go
He's
play
gonna
for the
make a
Mammoth.
Fortune. Like, are you kidding me?
Give a hometown discount to your actual hometown. Just go to Edmonton.
Yeah, go anywhere.
Yeah,
If you want like crazy amounts of money because we're not paying it.
This is not the Bobby McMahon discount year. It shouldn't be. He should go, I'm going to set my family up for life.
Yeah.
Go. Good. That's
And the
great.
Leafs shouldn't give it to him at the end of February. Like, that's not when you give him all this money.
I know. Well, you got to. That's the other thing. Oliver Ekman-Larsson's great. I love that. This is such a great case study. So the Oliver Ekman-Larsson conversation is he's 35 or will be this summer. Okay. And Oliver Ekman-Larsson is a fabulously renowned Swedish defenseman. I would say when he retires, he'll go down as one of the greatest Swedish players ever, greatest Swedish defenseman ever. And the reason that you might disagree with that is because he played for the Coyotes.
I was about to say.
His years with the Coyotes were unbelievable.
He was a crazy player.
He had a bad couple of years in Vancouver because that is not a well-run organization. And he wasn't great there, and there was injuries, and.
He was overplayed. Overpaid.
He goes to Florida, revives his career, changes the way he plays, comes to Toronto. He's the best defenseman on the team this year. Sorry, Chris Tanev, you haven't played. And yes, has Oliver Ekman-Larsson struggled in defensive minutes? Yeah, because they're giving him Chris Tanev's minutes.
Yeah.
But I'm looking at...
And McCabe has fallen off a cliff.
And they're also stapling him to Morgan Riley sometimes. And I'm like, respectfully, your numbers are not going to look
playing
great.
the right.
Yeah. So Oliver Ekman-Larsson has been phenomenal this year. Member of the Olympic team, which nobody saw coming really.
No.
And
heading into this year? No way.
No way.
No way.
And you have the opportunity to go out and get whatever it is you can get. Is it a first round pick? I don't know. Is it 2 seconds? I don't know. The guy signed for 2 more years at $3.25 million, which is a fucking steal.
3.5.
Oh, 3.5, sorry. Steal. And I don't think he'll ever be this good again. And wherever he goes next, he shouldn't have to be. Because, when I say that, it's not an insult. It's age. And it's also the role the Leafs have him playing in, which is too much. Mm-hmm. He's been great and he's excelled and rah. And I will miss Oliver Ekman-Larsson. I love watching him play. He's got a bomb from the point. He's got great vision on the ice. He's got size, and he's a fucking asshole.
He's a prick to play against.
He's a guy that I'm begging the rest of the Toronto Maple Leafs defense, with the exception of Jake McCabe and Chris Tanev when they're in the lineup, to beat. He's a dick. You want this guy on your
Benny.
team. You cannot. But the argument's going to be, well, then you go to replace him. Well, what do you make all that money for? You found an Oliver Ekman-Larsson in free agency 2 years ago.
Do it again.
Where are your pro scouts? Go do it again.
I'm so tired of this, but it's hard.
Yeah.
The Leafs' last trade was July 16th, 2025, when they acquired Dakota Joshua. There's only 3 teams. No. So when we first visited this, only 3 teams had made a trade less recently. The Winnipeg Jets, who haven't made a trade since March 7th, and if they don't make a move at this trade deadline, they will go over a calendar year without a trade, which
They'll
is
go from March 7th till they miss the playoffs when they
Right.
could make trades again if they want.
right. So then, forgot about that.
Yeah.
Then it was the Panthers and also the Red Wings. And if I'm not mistaken, one of those teams has made a trade since then.
Oh,
Hey,
really?
I know that you're
can't
annoyed,
remember
Steve, about about the fact that they haven't made a deal yet, and I get it.
Sure.
But give you an idea of what the market may or may not look like. Nick Kyprios reported today that the Oilers were prepared to send Andrew Mangiapane to Toronto for Matias Michelli. To me,
Straight up?
straight up. And listen, Matias Michelli has got some warts in his games, but he's been pretty good since he came back from the 9-game scratching.
Oh, yeah.
And you know what he doesn't have next year? A contract.
Right.
Mangiapane does. And is not great and is not a Berube fit.
I'm not convinced he's that bad.
I'm not convinced he's that bad either. I actually really liked him in Washington. There's a reason Mangiapane's making what he's making.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's a Berube fit if you're hanging on to Berube. And if that's what the market is, I would rather that right now, I'd rather them not just sit back and wait till the market gets better, because that ain't it.
I don't have a problem with
if we
Mangiapane
traded
becoming a Leaf, but
Michelli for Mangiapane,
I don't
it'd be
like that trade.
It'd be like for like. It's the same fucking thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, what are we doing? At least Michelli can somewhat quarterback a second power play on this very thin Leafs top six. He moves the puck. He's been better. He's been more engaged.
It's two guys with high-end capabilities that just so rarely show them.
Yeah. Why would we want another year of that?
Yeah.
So
Change of scenery at best.
perhaps, yeah. So this is what I'm saying. So when people are upset, and rightfully so, you got every right to be upset. This is their job. Remember that the market just may not be there yet.
I would say, that is actually the kind of trade the Leafs would make. And I'm not saying that as an insult. They, last summer, prioritized acquiring control.
Yes.
Dakota Joshua, you have control. Matias Michelli, you have control.
Yep.
I think there was another player in there that had term as well. They prioritize, with the cap going up, acquiring guys who already have a set number. So the more I think about it, the more I'm like, yeah, that is something I could see them considering. I don't love it, but I understand the logic.
I don't. I'd be fucking
I
furious.
disagree with the
I
logic.
would hit the roof if that was what they got.
I can understand the logic and hate it.
Yeah. And not because Michelli is worth some enormous amount of whatever, but I'm like, what are we doing here? We're just trading for $3 million on the cap next season.
Yeah.
You could just keep Michelli. Pay him. Right?
There are days where I think Craig Berube would rather he'd be dead.
Wait, Craig or Matthias?
Yes. There are...
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the exact kind of player who will score you 2, cost you 1, score you 1, cost you 2 every game.
Kevin Fiala is out of hospital. He posted that on his Instagram.
Nice.
So that's good. We wanted to kind of
I didn't realize he was in hospital this whole time.
Yeah, I didn't know
in
that.
Italy.
That's a thing?
Yeah, he had the surgery. I didn't know either.
Wow.
But he had the surgery and in Italy because it's a broken bone, so it's pretty much the same anywhere. And it took, with a leg that's broken that badly, you kind of just have to sit there for a bit.
I guess there's worse
Oh,
spots
wow.
to be than Italy.
Well, at a hospital bed.
Well, he's in a hospital.
It's not my favorite.
Yeah.
I don't think he's touring.
Hey, sightseeing?
Yeah. Listen,
Coliseum?
oh no, then he's got to go home to LA.
No.
You know what I mean? I think I think he would probably, maybe Siberia, but I'm probably not loving the hospital bed in Milan.
I don't know.
I'm very happy for him.
yeah, good for him.
As we
Sometimes
mentioned,
you don't have to have a thought.
Yeah.
we mentioned Crosby's going to be out a minimum of 4 weeks. It looks like Mikko Rantanen will be as well. He has been put on the IR.
4 weeks?
Potentially 2 to 4.
Oh, jeez.
So that'll be interesting for the Dallas Stars. Gary Bettman has said, and I think he's right on this one, he wants a better time slot for the Olympic hockey gold medal men's game. And our suggestion last week was, if you want to do that, then start the tournament a day earlier. And we could have had the women's gold medal final on the Friday, the men's on the Saturday. And then the reason they had to do it so early on the Sunday is they had to race to get to the closing ceremony. Right. Why would you have it the same day as the closing ceremony? Fuck that.
I think that's tradition of the Olympics, though.
Yeah, I know.
The
They
last
did it in
day,
2010.
the last day of the Olympics, the American men's gold medal game takes place that morning.
Okay.
I think it's a lot of complaining about time zones. Like, okay, it exists in Italy. They played it in the afternoon in Italy time. You got to wake up one time every 4 years.
It's also yeah, I think he's probably thinking West Coast. I mean, 9 million Canadians roughly tuned in, 26.5 Americans tuned in. So the numbers were pretty good, considering that the average NHL game in the United States right now is averaging 440,000. That's a pretty big jump.
Actually?
Yes.
Oy.
TNT's ratings are down 38%. Or at least they were at the beginning of the season.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Dude,
so
the hockey's on-ice product is in such a good place.
And
That's such a shame.
I think it is on the rise. I just think television ratings are extraordinarily flawed.
I guess that's true.
McDavid is not expected to join the Oilers lineup right away. They're going to give him some time to have a break. Something I want you guys to keep an eye on, though, is the more we hear about it and the more that the game comes back to North America, evidently Paul Coffey, and we've talked about this, Paul Coffey, his re-arrival with the Oilers coaching staff has not been well received behind the scenes. They're going to put up with it because they were ordered to. But I also have heard weirdly that Paul Coffey might not be thrilled about that scenario. And I'm thinking, just a thought, I could see a world where he's the next head coach of the Edmonton Oilers.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't see that at all.
Yeah, especially when
I understand.
Yeah, I think that there's genuine tension there. And I think that perhaps he's the next. And Edmonton is notoriously ruthless with head coaches. Look at the amount of head coaches Leon and Connor have had.
I mean, if any team could use a kick in the ass, it's them, right? Like more is expected of you. And they've been poor. They've been really mediocre.
Yep.
Right? I know where they are in their division, but it's been a pretty poor division, right?
Yep.
Given how that division has gone, you should be dominating it.
Yes.
You should be ahead by a margin, and they're not. So they got to figure that out.
Lastly, I want to get a prediction from you guys. Leafs need to go roughly 16-8 to make the playoffs. Roughly, what's their record? The last roughly 16-8 and whatever. I don't know, it's 25 games, whatever the fuck it is. I don't know. I didn't do the math. 24-25. What do you think their record is the rest of the way?
15-9.
You think it's going to be like 2006? Yeah. Missed by a point.
The Steve Dangle Podcast. Follow the guys on Twitter at Steve_Dangle, at Adam WYLDE, and at Jesse Blake. Connection complete.